Hey, friends. Thank you for viewing tonight. Thank you for joining us. This is Volente CrossFit Outside the Box podcast, episode 7. We're going to bring in our member of the month, Joel Wakefield, and our head coach, Logan Brubaker. We don't have any updates, as far as I know, to provide other than we've started our PAP session or coaching programming cycle. So it's been exciting. We did bench press yesterday. We're doing squats tomorrow, and we're all going to get jacked. We're all going to get super strong. So I'm looking forward to that. But without further ado, I'll bring in Logan and Joel. So here we go. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Joel's a blur.
How's everyone doing today?
Oh,
very good.
Doing good. I'm on a road trip, so I'm out of town, but this is wonderful to join you all.
Joel is joining us from where?
I'm up in Salt Lake City. I had to come up here for a work conference, so I'll be here for a few days. So got some travel wads that I've been working on.
Travel wads. I think Logan alluded to that process in a previous episode of our podcast, but tell us how that goes.
Well, typically what I do is I'll send Logan a picture of what the gym consists of, and then wait for the hell to break out after that. So he'll come up with something for me to do, and that's what occurred today.
So do you have the picture? Like, is it something you can share or can you describe what the gym had where you're currently located?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They have like a cardio area where they've got the treadmills and ellipticals. And so I did about a 20-minute warm up on one of the treadmills. And then Logan had suggested that I do a 5 minutes on, 2 minutes off rotation of alternating dumbbell, and of course burpees. There's nothing better to do than burpees when you're traveling, and V-ups. So they had pretty limited gym here, but it was just a great workout, and look forward to going back tomorrow and try something different.
That's awesome. So when you get there, you're obviously, you arrive, you check in, you drop off your luggage in the hotel room. You probably check in with your wife to let her know you arrived safely, all that good stuff.
No, he doesn't do that.
Everything a good husband should do, unless she's with you, Lisa's with you. But I assume you do all that, and at a certain point, you're freed up to like go do other things that you want to do. And I imagine if you're like me, one of the first things you do is you walk down and you try to find the gym, and it's like the first floor, the second floor. And then you're just like, I wonder what they got. Sometimes you do your research in advance so you know what they have, but other times you just are surprised. But it's usually like some cardio equipment, right? Like a couple treadmills, maybe some bikes, or what's the thing, Logan, that you guys use at Lifetime? The
a treadmill.
No, the
stair climber.
No.
Versa climber.
Something like that.
Jacob's ladder. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just like the cardio machines where you have your feet in the things and
ellipticals.
Yeah. It's usually treadmills and ellipticals. And then there's probably dumbbells, and then there's maybe like a functional trainer, right? That's mostly what you see at hotels these days. Unless it's fancy hotel.
Usually when we go to a hotel or we're going out of town, the first thing that I do is I look for two things. I look for what food spots are around the hotel, and then I look for if the hotel has a gym or if there's a CrossFit gym or like a Lifetime Fitness or whatever in the area.
Nice.
You know, it's kind of funny is that when you don't really call about the amenities of what's in the room or what's around, but what's in the gym. What can I count on in the gym?
Yeah, Google Images. I type in the name of the hotel, and then I go to Google Images and I scroll until I see a gym, and I'm like, all right, I see what they got there.
Yeah.
Nice. So, okay, Joel, you get down there, you see it, you're like, okay, you probably already have some ideas in your mind, but you take a picture, send it to Logan, and then while you're waiting, what's going on in your mind?
Well, I typically just try to figure out when I'm going to be able to do this based on the other things I've got going on, but try to get to it a little bit earlier. And then, yeah, mostly I like to do an AMRAP, or I'll do like every minute on the minute. I'll pick like 3 or 4 different exercises with a rest in there based on whatever they have. So I can modify, but for me, it's just staying consistent with, even when I'm out of town, just working out, just the practice of working out.
Nice.
As long as those teenagers aren't using the dumbbells that you want to use, right?
Those 70s and the 90s.
Yeah, the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, where was I? I was somewhere, and I was getting ready to grab this dumbbell, and this 17-year-old kid who was checking himself out in the mirror grabbed the same dumbbells I grabbed. And I thought, hey, I'm almost twice your age, or I am twice your age. Give me that dumbbell. So he overestimated his ability, and I finally got to use the dumbbell.
Also, his name was Austin Hatley.
Nice. Okay, so Logan, I want to hear your side. You're just going through your day. Maybe you talk with the members all the time, and so you're probably aware of like where they're going and when and all that, but maybe not, or maybe you forget. But so you're doing your daily stuff, and then you get a text with a picture. Is it like, hey Logan, check out this gym, will you please provide me a workout? Or is it just a random picture and then you just know what to do?
No, that would be really funny though. Joel, next time you're out of town, just do that. Just send a picture. No context whatsoever, just a picture of the gym, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about.
I just think, for me, it's I enjoy CrossFit so much, and I like to come to the gym, and as Lisa and I love to work out, and it's so helpful not to have to figure out what my programming is going to be.
Yeah.
And, especially when I'm out of town, it's like, like the coaches or Logan, you'll return something quicker than I could have even put it together. So it's just, for me, it's a wonderful added benefit to part of the being a part of the CrossFit community, and especially at Dale.
Yeah, I love it. I was making, so I'm on my phone right now. Alea's out of town too, and so I usually use her laptop for this, and so I'm using my phone, and so I had a list of questions that we're going to ask you later that I wanted to print out, and so I was at FedEx, and you sent me that text about what the gym had, and so I was sitting in the parking lot of FedEx, like, all right, what can I do? How can I, and I don't even know what like size weights were there or whatever, but like you're seasoned enough to know, if I put 10 of these and 15 of these, what weight you should go at and stuff. So, that workout is very similar to one that I was planning on doing today. If nobody was signed in for a while to classes, and I was like, if nobody shows up, then I'm gonna try this workout. And so it's very similar. I already had it kind of like in my head, and when you said that, I was like, oh, this is easy. I could easily, modify it to dumbbells or whatever. But yeah.
What was the workout?
I don't know. What was it?
It was 5 minutes on, 2 minutes off, and a combination of alternating dumbbells, and of course burpees, and then V-ups.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mixed in a little bit of yesterday. So yeah, alternating dumbbell snatches, yeah, burpees and V-ups. Yeah, it's great. How was it?
It was good. It was good. I really liked it. I had to do my typical take a break, walk around the dumbbells. That's the Joel move. You take a break, walk around the dumbbells, contemplate picking them back up. But no, I appreciated it.
This is Joel's. That's his thing. Is he'll drop a barbell, and then before he picks it back up, he does one cycle around the barbell, and that's him timing himself and pacing himself, and then he goes back to the barbell. And I've seen you do that for, I don't know what, 8-9 years now. however
I think
long.
it's been close to 8 years. Yeah.
I just want to say one thing also. Let's not forget, there was a time when we were a part of Hammer CrossFit when Lisa was gone for like a year. She was gone. And Joel, 7:30 for Hammer. It was 7:30 p.m. class to 8:30. Uh, that is their class. That is the Lisa and Joel class time. And
No,
when
that's the
Lisa,
Lisa class.
okay,
I have
that's
to
the
go on
Lisa
record.
class.
That's the Lisa class.
I didn't want to leave you out of it. But so, and then when Lisa left, it was just Joel coming to that class every night, like 4 or 5 days in a row. And we became workout partners. Literally, I would wait to do the workout until 7 p.m. because I knew it was just going to be me and Joel. And so for like, I want to say it was close to a year when Lisa was gone, we were working out at 7:30 together every night.
Yeah, I do recall that. And then Lisa came home and I had to give up ownership of that class.
Yes. And I actually had to start coaching again. So,
Nice.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
it's good.
was Lisa, I have to give credit where credit's due. It was, I started CrossFit eight some years ago, and I was in a really kind of a dark place as far as work. And I'd come home from work just completely emotionally drained. And Lisa said, you got two choices. You can go to CrossFit, because she started CrossFit, or you can go to this boxing gym. And I thought, I'll try CrossFit. And
Good choice.
that's I'm still here. And the first workout I did is I came in and I thought I can kill this workout. And it was, I thought, like 3 rounds of push-ups, sit-ups, and air squats. I mean, it was, like your benchmark, kind of get in here. And I did it, and I walked outside and puked. And then I couldn't walk for a week. Lisa had to drive me home.
Wow.
And I came in thinking, I'm so in shape. And then I realized I can't even do push-ups, sit-ups, and air squats.
Dang, that's rough.
Yeah. Let's imagine Joel as like a boxer now. Like, imagine if you chose the other, and you just could crush people. Like, you like people would come up and like pick on you or whatever, and you'd be like, "Don't even try it, bro."
I made the right choice.
Now you can just outrun people. So
yeah,
that's what you get with CrossFit.
I apologize. We kind of just jumped into like some questions right off the bat, and I'm thankful, Joel, that you kind of talked about how you started CrossFit and what that was like. Can you give us like a Clip Notes version of like your whole life story leading up to that moment? Like, where did you grow up? How did you meet your wife? What was your fitness journey leading up to that point that made you feel like you were already fit enough to do these workouts?
Well, I'd always been very active, so it was never that I wasn't active, and I didn't come because I felt like I wanted to change, like physically change to the point of either add weight, lose a lot of weight, or whatever it might be. So it was really just the decision to get into a programming that I could count on a regular basis. I've been here in the Valley for 40 years, and or 40 plus years now, and met Lisa in my 20s, and then we dated for quite some time and eventually got married. So we met here in the Valley through church and through friends, but have always enjoyed being active. But I have really enjoyed the community that CrossFit's provided, and enjoy the opportunity to work out. And especially it's fun to work out with Lisa. It helps us to be accountable. We know what happens every day at 7 o'clock. We got to get ready, got to go. And so I think that's an important component of our fitness. So and I don't even see it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I don't even see it as, it's just the lifestyle that we're a part of now. We lived, with 2 kids. They're 2 adult kids now. There wasn't time because we were chasing our kids to soccer and dance and all the events. And it really is a time now that we just are enjoying the lifestyle of being fit, being active, and so that's just that's the cliff notes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you met Lisa at church. How did that go? Like, if you can provide some detail there, that would be fun.
Oh my gosh. No, it was just through mutual friends, and just we started hanging out, and eventually got to the point that we were dating, and we had quite a lengthy dating. We dated for close to 3 years with all the things with school going on. But
Did you call it courting?
no, it wasn't. It was there were actually color televisions back in the day when we were dating.
So, okay, so then you were dating and eventually you popped the question. Tell us about that.
We were well, of course it had been planned, and when you date for quite some time, there's kind of the anticipation of, and so we were out. We went to a different part of the valley it was out in the Fountain Hills area. So Fountain Hills has a big water, or it's a fountain actually at the lake, and so that was a place that I'd always enjoyed going. So that was the location that I asked the question.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Was there any kind of like pressure or like deadline established, or was it just all internal motivation from you? Or
What do you mean, like?
Well, sorry, I'm just going off of my own experience, which I don't think I've shared with this podcast or anyone. But when my wife and I got married, we had been dating for a while, and she gave me a deadline. She said, if we're not engaged by 3 years, then we're done.
Oh,
wow.
And as a young man, I think I needed that because I just wasn't like fully locked into the right mindset. I wasn't taking life that seriously at the time. So, thankfully for me specifically, but for all the parts of my life, I'm thankful that she did that, because it forced me to like think through, like, what do I really want? What am I doing? And forced me to get serious about it. So anyway, I feel like Lisa's similar to my wife in many ways, but Joel, I think you were probably further along in life at that age than I was. So anyway, that's why I asked. Sorry, just a little.
No, perfect. I appreciate the opportunity to share. So,
Something.
when you're married longer than, I've been married longer than I've been single at this point in my life.
That's awesome. Yeah, we just had our 13th anniversary the other day. But something that you said earlier that I wanted to just kind of highlight, working out with your spouse, I feel like that's something that's like an unspoken but very real thing that brings you guys together, with you and your significant other. Like, some people can't do it, and I don't get that, to be honest. Personally, that might be like small-minded of me, but Alea and I working out, we got mad at each other in partner workouts. We've gotten upset with each other. We've also pushed each other. I feel like it's helped us grow closer than almost any other activity that we do together. Yes, we love, going to the movies or going on dates and stuff like that. But working out, especially because working out releases so many different types of hormones and stuff like that. Like, when you're done, I think I was just watching a thing on Instagram the other day, and it was saying how when you work out, when you lift weights, it releases a certain hormone, and the doctors call it like the hope chemical. It releases a chemical in your body called the hope chemical, and you literally feel better, you age better. It helps you in like all areas. And so to do that with your spouse, and then have those moments after the workout's done where you're like in this elated state with them or whatever, I think more couples should be working out together. I know some of our members, like Bree, her husband doesn't come to CrossFit, but they go to like EOS and they work out together. And I think that that's a very important thing to a marriage, especially if you're putting the fact that your like your health, it's like for me, I say this a lot. I heard Ben Bergeron talk about it, but it's like with health and work and family, like you have to put fitness as a person who works out and a male in the head of the family, fitness first, family second, because if I don't do fitness, I won't be able to put them first and then work after. And I think if you could put fitness with your family there, you're on a whole nother level. So that's my 5-minute spiel.
You know, what I think it's interesting is that, and I've been doing CrossFit for some time and been at the gym for some time, is that, you know, we've watched like Jordan and her kids grow up there, and like our grandkids now are modeling some of these behaviors or things that we do at the gym. Like I remember seeing Ezio and Gianna trying to do burpees, or now Sage and Emery are mimicking these activities that we're involved in. And our kids will never grow up and do what we tell them to do. They'll grow up and do what we have done or modeled to them. So I think it's a great example of instilling healthy habits with family, just by virtue. We get healthy at the same time that our kids are seeing us do it, and hopefully then they'll continue that. So kind of an added benefit.
Yeah. The cool thing also, like, I just want to say with us three here, like, your daughter Jane is a stellar CrossFitter. Like, probably one of the best that I've gotten to coach and even work out with. Adam's daughters love gymnastics. I think that's a really cool thing. It's a very athletic and healthy thing. And then same thing. You want to come over here? Lene, same thing. She's in the gym with us.
Burpees in front of Rich Froning.
Yeah, she did get to do burpees for Rich Froning. She's met a lot of cool people. But yeah, I think that's cool. It's like, it's awesome that you are seeing, like, not just your daughter do CrossFit, but you're seeing her twins start to mimic those behaviors. I think that's really awesome. And that's what I think we all hope for our kids, is that they follow in our footsteps in the healthy habits that we, engage in ourselves.
Yeah. And I know with Jane and Brian, they're modeling that when they go to the gym and things like that. So it's not that it just happens when they're with us. So got to give credit where credit's due.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of what Alea talked about in a previous podcast, just about like changing the outlook of future generations by modeling the behaviors now. And then I feel like Joel's family is like the illustration of that, which is really cool. So I'm curious, Joel, you shared that you had been introduced to it through Lisa. Who was like the first person in your family that kind of like discovered CrossFit and brought everyone else into the gym?
Well, it would have been Lisa.
Okay.
She started it, and she'd gone to done CrossFit for about 6 months, and she'd come home and she'd just show me these bruises on her wrists, and she'd tell me how that she was flipping the kettlebells back and smacking, and so it was all about, it's like, why are you doing this, Lisa? But I was a little bit slow to the game, but eventually came on. But she would be the one that really had made the decision, researched, found the gyms in the area, and then kind of got us involved in it. And, Jane's always been a good athlete and been active, and so when she came back home from some of the work that she was doing, quickly got involved too.
That's awesome.
Hey, I know I know a little bit about it, but I would love for anybody listening or watching to hear about it. Obviously, we're not ashamed at all. Our gym's name is Deo Volente, which is God willing. Tell us a little bit about like your faith and how that plays into your life, or maybe your job or your marriage, or even CrossFit. At one point, we had a like a Sunday night group called Digging Deep. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed
little
that. So
that was great. Yeah, Sunday nights after the 4:30 class, we would all kind of gather around, and one of us would do like a verse and talk about it, or talk about what they heard in church earlier that morning at church or whatever. But yeah, give us a little lowdown on any of that.
well, I think for me, I grew up a part of uh, with a Christian faith. My dad was a pastor, was very involved in church, and so that was just a lifestyle that I grew up. And so I followed in those footsteps. And both, I mentioned that met Lisa at church, and that we have committed our life to living in that lifestyle. It affects how we live at work, how we live at home, when we go out socially and do things like that. But I think that in a lot of ways, the CrossFit lifestyle, the CrossFit environment mimics that, with the family, the environment that is
Yeah,
created within that CrossFit community. And I just look forward to the opportunity to continue in that. And um, so that's just a brief example of my personal faith and how it affects work, what we do personally, what we do in working out, things like that.
yeah. I didn't know that your dad was a pastor.
Yep,
Was that
a lot
here
of years.
in Phoenix?
Well, that's what we actually came to Phoenix, back when in the 70s, because my dad was coming out here to do some more work he wasn't like pastoring a church, but he was doing some work in Christian studies and things like that. And so
Cool.
we moved from California um, here to Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do agree. I think the community aspect of being part of a CrossFit gym is what makes it unique. Both Logan and I go to Lifetime. Logan used to work at Mountainside, so he's got a lot of experience working in like the Globe Up gym setting. And I used to go to LA Fitness with my wife back in the day. And so I've spent a lot of time there, and it's just the kind of thing where you can basically walk in the gym, put your headphones in, not talk to anyone, work out, barely sweat, and then leave. And you worked out for the day, so you feel good, but you didn't really connect with anyone while you were there, unless you had friends that you met there or you brought people with you. CrossFit, on the other hand, is completely opposite, where if you show up and don't talk to anyone, you might have someone reach out and be like, "Are you okay?" And I think for me, actually, as a gym owner now, that's been one of the challenges, because I'm not the most outgoing person, but I have to make sure that's something I do when I go in. I have to tell myself, make sure you say hi to every person that's there. And not that I'm not trying to be fake. Like I care about these people. I want to see them. I want to talk to them. I want to catch up. I want to let them know that I really care about them, and I'm happy that we're all there together. But it's just not like something that comes naturally to me. So, but I love that, because like Logan, you go to Lifetime all the time as well. You just see the difference. It's so obvious when we walk in. It's just like, if I were to have the same behaviors that I have at Deo at a Lifetime, it'd just be weird. Like, why is this guy coming up to me and saying hi? but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what keeps people coming back. And
But I also think, Adam, I also think that there's you know that that you and Adam, or Adam, you and Logan and other people, they meet you at the door, in the sense that it doesn't matter where you are in your health journey, that you don't have to be a buff athlete, you don't have to be fit to come to uh, Dale Volente. Wherever you are in your journey, you come in the door, and then programming is adjusted, and you work out just as hard as the person next to you. You collapse on the floor,
Mhm.
sweat, give knuckles, and everybody goes home and enjoys it. So, I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things. We're all on a different journey at a different place, and we just do it together.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, I heard something very cool today. Um, so it was actually inspiring to me. One of our members was talking about how he went to another CrossFit gym before he came to us, which was actually when we were all a part of Hammer CrossFit. Um, he went to a different gym in the area. He said he walked in and almost they almost like ignored him and were not uh, not very inviting. And he said when he came in to Hammer, I barely remember this. I was in the middle of a workout and I stopped and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he was like, "Oh, he's been a part of CrossFit for a long time." He was like, "No, no, 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 don't let me. Like, you keep working out. Like, I get it. You're in the middle of this." He was like, "Do your thing," and I was like, "Are you sure? Because I can stop and we can chat." And he was like, "No, no, no, no." He's like, "Keep doing your thing." And then Alea was there, so Alea kind of tag teamed and talked to him until like I was done 10 minutes later or whatever. And he was like, "That's the reason why I chose to stick with you guys was because you were willing to be inviting and be just willing to like stop what you're doing." And he had also previously owned a CrossFit gym, and he was like, "I know as a coach or an owner or whatever, it's hard to get your workout in because you're always worried about other people getting theirs in." And he was like, "So I appreciated so much that you stopped to talk to me." And I dropped into a CrossFit gym in California where that same situation happened to me. Now, I wasn't looking for a CrossFit gym to join, but I was just dropping in. And the coach that was there during the hour, there was nobody there. So she was doing the workout and she didn't acknowledge me for, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. And I'm just saying this as a general thing. Like, it's something that I can get better at too. It didn't turn me off or anything. I just understood. I was like, "Oh, she's in the middle of her workout." She's like, "I'll be with you in a second." And I was like, "Dude, do your thing. We'll sit over here and wait." Um, but yeah, I think it's something that, and I say this a lot. Adam does very well when he comes in and says hi to every person, and then for me, like I have to remember like people are choosing to come to our gym. Like even if I'm having a bad day, like they're coming because this is their happy place, and I have to elevate that experience. And so, um, yeah, just thoughts for me. I have a daughter that's crying over here.
I was gonna say, I think uh, to me that's like the most rewarding part is the interaction with the people and knowing that we're investing time and money into trying to improve their lives through fitness. You
Just me.
know, like if you review the CrossFit methodology and kind of like their definition of fitness, it's like work capacity and like work capacity over broad time and modal domains, which the way I interpret that is essentially it's using your body to overcome the laws of physics. And the better you can overcome physics, the more fit you are. And then the more fit you are over like the entirety of your life, the better health you have. And so the weird thing is, or like the cool thing is that as you go through these daily challenges where we just give you a set of little like physical challenges to overcome, some of them you're confident that you can do, and other things you're like, there's no way I can do that. And then you start to chip away, you scale it down to like something that is a bite-sized chunk that you can handle, and then that starts to build over time. And then all of a sudden you're capable of doing these things that you never thought you could do. And through that process, you build this confidence that you can overcome other challenges in your life that aren't like physical challenges, but are maybe social or like workplace or spiritual, whatever the challenge may be, family, relationships, things like that. You just realize, okay, when I first look at it, I realize it's like a lot to take in, but if I scale it down to something I can manage now, I can take these baby steps and then move in the direction of solving these problems. And just the confidence that comes with that is really powerful. And I think to me, that's where like the biggest reward is of spending, like I said, our time and money providing that service to people. And so, and this podcast is actually a part of that too, where we get to know people's like backgrounds and stories that we don't necessarily ask about in a gym setting. Like
Yeah.
if I showed up, Joel, and I was like, "Hey, good to see you. Got a good workout today. Hey, tell me about like how you met Lisa." Like, I just that stuff doesn't really happen, so that's why I really love doing these podcasts.
Totally.
But
But
yeah, I
it,
think
it is about the relationship that we have with people. Is it, we go to be healthy, but we go for the relationship, and it's the relationship that keeps us coming back. Brenda dropped in, what was it, last week, Logan? She
Yeah.
just walked in, and then she didn't know who owned the gym. She saw it was close, and then it was her old friends. And that same day, I mean, she enjoyed the workout because she knew us from an old location.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, that although I'm not as social as I'd like to be, Adam, we're kindred spirits there, but that's the type of the relationship with people, like that 7 o'clock crew that comes. I just love to find out how everybody's doing, have conversation with them, how you doing with work or different things like that. And those are the things that keep me coming back. And I think those are the things that keep others coming back too.
Yeah. For about 8 years now, Joel has supplied me with I think almost every piece of gum that I've ever chewed. Joel brings 4 packets of gum to the gym, and he lays them all out. And I ask him every single time. For 8 years, I've asked him, "Hey, do you mind if I grab one?" And he responds the same way every time. That's why they're out. And so that in and of itself is its own way of like you like being open to just hanging out and like having good relationships with people because everybody sees gum. Everybody wants a stick of gum. That's one thing. If you're the guy with a packet of gum, you are the guy in the room, and you have made friends with everybody. And that's a
Yeah,
secret. Yeah.
Lisa said I was leaving. She's at the gym. Just leave me some gum. Make sure I have some gum.
Joel
That's
is
awesome.
a very generous and selfless person. We should give him props here because I mean, our gym is less than a year old. In fact, we're coming up on some milestones. Like November would be the month when we started looking at stuff last year. Like
Hmm.
at this point last year, starting a gym was kind of like a long-term vision. But anyway, it all happened really quickly, and we relied on not just ourselves, but the people that are now members, Joel being one of the main ones, to help us figure stuff out. And so Joel was very generous by sharing um, the rack where we hang the bands in the back,
Oh yeah.
the fridge, I believe,
Yep.
and the TV where we
That was the Balches, but
that
still.
was the
Yeah,
bosses.
no, I was
Okay.
the
But tools,
yeah, the fridge.
tools,
Yeah,
a lot
Yeah,
of tools, a lot
and
of
his
equipment.
time
Yeah.
and his expertise with just being a handyman.
there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people that
There
wanted to
were
make it
definitely a lot,
happen.
but you were
There it is. There's the humble dude.
There were a lot
but
of people. Yeah,
we're very thankful for that. Like little things like the when we put the rubber mats down, the bathroom doors would rub because there wasn't enough clearance on the bottom. So Joel came in, brought his whole setup with like sawhorses, and then just sanded down the bottom of the doors, and that's why they open and close freely now. So little
now
things
my
like that.
favorite story. My favorite story. So the plumbing was done. Remember the sinks were all put in. We're only doing cold water,
Yeah.
and walked into that left bathroom. I don't know if it's girls or guys. And you opened up the valve, and just a little trickle of water came out. Remember that, Logan?
Oh
And you
yeah.
said something to me. You said, "Oh, there's this problem here," and so I've lived a long life, so I know these. So I unscrewed the little filter that sits right there below that, and then just cleaned it out and put it back on, and I got a full blast of water that came out.
I'm
Nice.
pretty sure it was just that it was tight, and you were like, well, did you
No.
unscrew this? And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that faucets had a little. So if you don't know that, hey, and your faucet, and you buy a house or something, and you turn it on, and it's just a trickle. Most faucets have a little screw right on the tip where the water comes out, and you can just unscrew it, and it regulates the flow of the water. FYI, and that's why whenever I need to do something at the gym, I go to Joel first. I'm usually like, hey, have you ever caulked a bathroom sink before? And he's like, yeah, I've done 18 in my life. And I'm like, oh, okay, because yeah, ours needs to be fixed. And then the next time he comes in, he's like, oh, here's the 3 different guns I have for that, and I will do it for you right now. So appreciate it. Appreciate it. We're getting close. We're at 41 minutes. I got some questions here. Is that cool? All right. I've been waiting for these all day. I'm really excited about this. Is my favorite part. And honestly, I feel like when we do these podcasts, I sometimes am like, man, is the person who we're having on the podcast going to enjoy this? Like, are they gonna have fun? And then I have so much fun. By the time we even get to these, I'm like, we don't even need these. Like, we've been having great conversation, and I think that that's a really cool thing. But nevertheless, here we go. Question 1, and there's a few on here, so I'll try to keep them quick.
What are we? Sorry, just to interrupt real quick. Are we trying to end at 1 hour, 60 minutes, or sooner or later? Okay.
Go for it.
I was saying we can aim for 60 minutes and let Joel get to bed since he's in Salt Lake City, an hour ahead.
Yeah. All right. I didn't say it. If you could use magic to do one mundane task for the rest of your life, what would it be? What task would you have magic cover that you would never have to do again?
First thing that comes to my mind is that my coffee maker, coffee would just be made, and you could walk in and get up in the morning,
great.
And be fresh and ready to go.
That's a really good answer. I did not think of that at all. Mostly because I don't make coffee in the morning. But
what's your coffee routine, Joel?
Coffee routine. I try to set it up, not always, but try to set it up so that when I get up early, it's ready to go. For the most part.
Is it?
Are you like a normal Folgers guy, or do you like specific coffee?
No, I'll drink it. I'll drink anything. Day old coffee is better than one day coffee. The kind that stands up when you put the fork in it. That's my favorite kind of coffee. It's just straight black.
What about you, Logan? You drink coffee, right?
I had coffee today. Yeah.
Is it a daily thing, or is it like every other day?
Nope. It's I'm more of like a energy drink or like a pre-workout kind of guy. So I try to limit like my caffeine intake otherwise. But today I was feeling low energy around like noon, and I never do this. So it's funny that we're talking about it. I went to Dutch Bros of all places because an ad popped up on my phone because they're listening and they know my heart and soul. And it said nitro cold brew coffee with like sugar-free pumpkin, and the little ball lady inside of me was like, yes, please. And so, Alea, I'm sorry that you saw that like $9 charge on there on the account, but I got a cold brew coffee with sugar-free pumpkin syrup, and I turned into all sorts of fall colors after I drove away. So, what about you?
For me, I'm a daily coffee drinker. I try to keep it to 2 cups or less, which is kind of my same rule with beer, like 2 or less in a day. But I'm not a daily beer drinker, but I'm a daily coffee drinker. And I use a Chemex. I've gone through phases where I had a Keurig where I was doing just K cups twice a day. that got expensive. And so then I got like the little cup where you can just put your own coffee grinds in. And then I went from that to an AeroPress. And then I went from AeroPress to a Chemex. Thing I like about Chemex compared to AeroPress is that you're probably not supposed to do it this way, but the way I do it is I have it do 2 cups at a time. So, and then sometimes I'll make it at night. If I know I'm going to wake up early the next day, like if I'm going to go on a walk in the morning, I'll make coffee at night and then I'll put it in the fridge and then I'll just have cold refrigerated coffee in the morning first thing.
I've seen that in person because you bring that to the gym sometimes, right?
Yeah, like Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Or if I'm going to Lifetime, like we've done several times, that's where I've done it too. So
Yeah. Since owning a gym together, we haven't gone to Lifetime together in a lifetime.
it's
Been a
been,
minute.
I mean, yeah, it's been less than a handful of times since opening day.
I do want to say, while we're on the coffee subject, I feel like Alea is normally sitting next to me right here. We have a Keurig. I think that was mostly for like when her parents come into town, so they could just boom, do the coffee and get it over with. She has a Drew Barrymore line of coffee maker, this giant thing with a B on it. And then she also has a French press. And she uses the Drew Barrymore thing more now, I think, because the French press takes so long. But I think that French press coffee tastes the best, in my opinion. That's just me. But I'm not a coffee snob, so I don't really care. Moving on. Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say I'm not a coffee snob either. I'm always just, if there's coffee at work, whether it's like the worst thing ever or the best thing ever, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
I usually do black. I don't add cream or sugar. But anyway, let's keep going.
All
Next
right.
question.
If you could make the ultimate sandwich, Joel, what would be on it?
Oh, heavens. The ultimate sandwich.
Yeah. What kind of bread?
One of my favorite. Well, one of my favorites. I don't have it because you can't calculate it in the macros too well. So, is a 3-slice peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
3 slices.
3 slices of bread. Yeah.
Do you do peanut butter?
Peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, big old fat sandwich.
What kind of peanut butter? What kind of jelly? Are you
crunchy peanut butter?
Jif or is it Jif or Skippy?
I do like a sugar-free kind of. It's but right, it's an organic sugar-free I like now. It's actually creamy, but I like any sort of a berry type of, like a boysenberry, a blackberry, something like that.
Yeah, I dig blackberry. All right, I didn't think you would go there with the sandwich thing, but yeah, peanut butter and jelly. Okay.
That sounds good. I like peanut butter and jelly.
I do too. Our freezer is filled with those. What are those things called? The Uncrustables.
from CCV.
Yep, from CCV.
Nice.
All right, if you could have a lifetime supply of anything, not counting money, what would it be?
A lifetime supply.
Yeah.
I've already used my coffee example. Or coffee. I don't know. Lifetime supply.
Shoes, sunglasses, I don't know, cars.
Cars?
Well, lifetime supply. I would say
gasoline.
My favorite store is Home Depot. So anything, a lifetime supply of being able to go to Home Depot. That's the place to shop.
That would probably help us too.
Home Depot, if you're listening, we tag you in all of our posts, so we're looking for a sponsorship. All right. Did you ever get in trouble at school as a teen or outside of school? And if so, for what?
Well, let me just say that the old adage that being a preacher's kid Is that the preacher's
Yeah.
kid that kind of
PK.
gets in the most amount of trouble. So yeah, I had quite a few little nothing like running with a law, but I was I had my moments. We'll just put it
You
how
lit some
that
cherry
way.
bombs. Some
Yeah,
cherry bombs in the toilet.
I done some crazy things.
There's a term, they call them PKs, right? Pastors' kids or preachers'
Yeah.
kids. So
Yep.
the Joel's a PK.
He won't share. All right. Well, I'll press him later for it. For
It's
what
not that
exactly it was.
exciting. I mean,
We don't
yeah,
have to put everything on the internet. We can ask.
Yeah, we'll ask in person. We'll talk about this later, Joel. All right. What's your favorite line from any movie or TV show that you can think of? Like, what do you quote anything a lot?
I'm always the answer is no, because
Okay.
I don't. But I'm always amazed at like my Jane or Ben or even others will just like pull up these movie lines. It's like, oh, how do you remember that? I don't have a I don't have a movie line that would be my line.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. What is one thing you'll never do again?
It was one of the things that happened when I was in trouble as a teenager. Would that work?
that'll that'll work.
No,
I can't
I
wait.
I think one of the most foolish things I did. I can remember it. It was in sixth grade, and I was sitting in class, um, and a sixth grade boy. I mean, enough said. So I picked up a paperclip, unfolded it, and it was back in the day when they had the outlets in the floor of the school. And I'm just playing around with it, and I jammed this paperclip down in there, and sparks just flew up and shorted it out, and I got in a load of trouble. Of course, I got shocked too, but I don't think I'll do that again. But that was
Yeah,
one of
Yeah,
my foolish
probably
stories.
not.
electricity is very unforgiving,
Yes.
but it's
All right.
also really powerful and fascinating. So
Um, what's the first thing you'd buy if you won the lottery today? Or I guess, yeah, not necessarily pay off, like if whatever, you have stuff you need to pay off, but what would be the first like item that you would buy?
These are hard questions.
this is my favorite question so far.
Oh, what would I pay off? Well, I think that I would pay the rest of our house off. Just take care of that.
Yep,
Um, but I think I'd like to have a place that we could go up north just to get out of the heat in the summer. So maybe look at investing in something like that. That's a pretty
Cool.
safe answer, but it's kind of what we think we'd
yeah,
like to do.
that's great.
This is
Adam?
Well, I was gonna say this is a question that I love asking people just when we're like out hanging out with friends. Like, if you won the lottery, what would you do? And my thought is like, why not start moving in that direction now with whatever you have, right? Like you can't.
Okay, guy.
Well, what I'm saying is like that. I don't know. My answer would be I would start a gym, and that's like part of what led to this, I think. Because I just would be like, I don't have to work. I don't have to do a lot of things anymore. So I just have to find ways to spend my time doing what I enjoy. So
Sure.
part of it is like I would take the wealth that like I suddenly found myself stepping into, and I would try to expand it, which I'm trying to do now anyway. And I would start a gym and like spend my time and money trying to help my friends and family live a more comfortable, more like empowered life. And I think that's so. Anyway, all I had to say, like we're all in different places as far as like wealth that we have and things like blessings that way. But I'm just like, why not? Whatever it is that you would do, why not like do a smaller like incremental step in that direction now. Obviously, like Joel said, go buy a house in the north so that we can get out of the heat. It's like you can't just buy a smaller house, or you can't like there's like I don't know, there's limitations, of course, and maybe I'm speaking from like a place of privilege, but I feel like whatever it is that you can do, that's like an incremental step in that direction.
Mhm.
Why aren't you doing it now? And
Yeah.
so anyway, that's kind of like I find it fascinating, just that question of like if if money wasn't an object, how would you spend your time is really the question.
It's
And
almost like I agree. It's almost like what what is the next step that you would do right now? That's kind of like what it is, right? Like for us, it's like I would say the same thing. It'd be like, well, the next step would be to pay off our house. So that would be like the first thing. And then like actual like something tangible would be like, all right, I'm gonna buy my pay off my parents' house so that they have their house or whatever. Or like I would buy, I would buy the entire, now that we own a gym, I would buy the entire complex or whatever, like so that we could expand the gym or. So it seems that it would be the next step that you're working towards, and then anything extra after that, I guess, is a way that I would think about what you're saying. But yeah, that's good. And I think I've heard you ask that question before, Adam, or like talk about that before. All right. If you could attend a dinner with any celebrity, living or dead, who would you choose to attend that dinner with? And you can't say Jesus. Can't say Jesus.
Why not?
Can't do it. He was not widely liked
He
by
would not be a
people.
celebrity.
So. Yeah. Celebrity. What do you watch, Joel? Like, what celebrities are you even like fond of?
Yeah, I'm not like I don't follow celebrities or any of that. So
What about like Rich Froning? Like, would you have dinner with Rich Froning?
no.
Oh, it's amazing. Man, I'm trying to think of somebody who.
do you watch TV shows or movies? Like, are there any favorite movies that stand out in your mind, or TV shows?
Or like, what about like books? Like, it could be like pastors or
authors or musicians?
Yeah, authors. I'm thinking like Eugene Peterson or J. Oswald Sanders. Just like any book you've read, or yeah, anything like that. I'm just curious.
I think I would say that a celebrity, not so much, but one of the people that would be interesting to have a conversation with, it would be C.S. Lewis. He was the author of The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, and not that I read a lot of his, but somebody that was a deep thinker that both wrote in the secular world, but also in like a Christian environment also.
Yeah,
he'd be somebody that'd be interesting to talk to. So sorry for that. I don't have a fancy.
No, that's great. What about you, Adam?
Dinner. Who would I have dinner with?
Yeah.
I guess it depends what kind of mood I was in, like, and what kind of dinner I was hoping to have. But I like, I like music. I like guitar. I like country music. I like some Christian music. I'm not like a big movie buff. I'm not on Selena's level by any means, or I don't watch a lot of TV. I do read, or I say read, but what I really mean is I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So if I was hoping to have an interesting conversation, I'd probably have some of the authors of the audiobooks that I liked. Which I can't think of any names right now. And if I was like wanting to just go out and have more of like a light dinner but have drinks and stuff, it'd probably be some country musicians like Morgan Wallen or people like that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. I've been stuck on. Sorry, go for it.
Just a fun fact about me that probably is not well known, or wouldn't be known, is that favorite music, bluegrass.
Bluegrass.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite food, liver and onions.
Liver. Wow.
All right.
So there's the deep dark secret. That's how deep I get, right?
So you would want to have a dinner with any celebrity that wants to listen to bluegrass while they eat liver and onions.
There you go.
All right, all the celebs out there, listen up.
Not here, but her mom is in a bluegrass band.
She is. Wow. And they're great. They're really good.
A connection that Logan and myself and Alea have that we found out about much later is that when I was getting married and I had my bachelor party, we stopped at my favorite pizza place, which is called Me and Ed's Pizza. And there's a bunch in like Central California, but there's one in LA near the Long Beach airport. And the night that we were there for my bachelor party, there's a bluegrass band playing, and Alea's mom is in that bluegrass band. So she was playing bluegrass music at part of my bachelor party. So
wow,
that's awesome. So good. Yeah, they're really good. They have very skilled musicians. And for anybody who doesn't know, Adam and I both play guitar, and so we've been playing for a long time. We know what good musicians sound like, and they're like off the charts good. All right, we're gonna kind of do we have 5 more questions. We're gonna do them kind of rapid fire, and these ones are gonna be would you rather questions.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Would you rather have to listen to the same 10 songs for the rest of your life, or be forced to watch the same 5 movies for the rest of your life?
10 songs.
Wow. All right.
I have very limited musical interest. You know what I like to do.
I would have done 5 movies because I have 5 that I could pick right away. But that's probably just because I'm a musician and I like to hear new stuff. Would you rather have to speak in rhyme for the rest of your life, or have to speak in riddles for the rest of your life?
I'm not good at either one, but I would say riddles.
Riddles! Oh my goodness, I love that.
That's such a great question. I love that.
It is. It's like which fool would you rather be? Rhymes or riddles? All right. Would you rather wake up every day with a constantly changing haircut, or have your hair stay the same every day and change color? Have your hairstyle stay the same and your...
Okay, there's not a lot you can do with this.
No, but so would you be excited to have a different hairstyle every day if you could have hair off to the side or a mohawk?
Oh, yeah, sure. I just like a little bit more, maybe.
Okay.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I would take a different style too. It'd just be like a fun surprise every day.
All right. I guess you could just put on a hat, but whatever. Would you rather never have to pay for travel for the rest of your life, or never have to pay for any meal for the rest of your life?
Travel.
All right. I was trying to think of like the monetary cost of like which one would you get the most bang for your buck out of? And I don't know because I eat a lot of food, so I have no idea which one would.
Well, if you had to travel, you could probably do more of it.
That's true. Yeah. You do a lot more. Yep. All right. And last one. Would you rather never have to wait in line for anything, or always have a front parking spot?
I don't mind waiting in line. I'd say front parking spot.
Oh, wow.
Looks
So
like
you would,
Lisa chimed in about the previous question, by the way.
he
Oh,
better
did
say
she?
travel. He better say travel. Yeah.
I can't see it, but I knew she would say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this last one came down to like, I'm like, what would take me more time, walking from my parking spot into the store or waiting in line while I'm in the store to purchase my items? So I feel like for me, it would take me longer if I was waiting behind somebody if they had like a million things. Kind of like at Albertsons next to the gym.
Yeah,
I was talking, me, Alea, and Lisa were actually talking about this the other day.
they got
We're
to
talking
figure
about,
that out.
yeah, dude, man, there was a coupon lady in front of me the other day, and there was one register open. I had like two items, and she was arguing about the coupon wasn't working, and then she tried to pay with her debit card, and it wasn't working, so she paid in cash, but she didn't pay the full amount in cash. And the guy was like, "You still owe money," and she was like, "Does cash not work these days?" And he was like, "No, it does. You just didn't give me all of the money in cash." It was terrible. It was a terrible thing. I would park at the back of the parking lot and take a front. That always be in the front of the line, and
Yeah, I
that's
feel
the
like
end of these.
in Phoenix in the summer, parking close isn't necessarily preferred. Parking in shade is preferred.
There you
So
go. That's
Mm,
true.
you'll see there'll be a car that's like all the way out at the end of the parking lot, but there's a tree there. So
yeah. I
um,
feel like I'm also kind of privileged because and you could ask Alea this, for some reason, God above has blessed me with premier parking anywhere we go. I'm like, I'm going to try the front row. And she's like, the front row at like Taylor Swift or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to give it a try. And I always find a spot. It's super weird. But,
I have a friend that
you know,
from San Diego that does the same thing. Like we would always go to the beach and it'd be like 4th of July where there's just like thousands of people. This is when I lived in San Diego. And we would have to like park 3 blocks away and walk. And then he would show up late, but he'd be there before us because he's like, yeah, I just drove up and there was a spot. Like,
yep.
man, some people.
Man, I feel like this is the longest podcast we've done. This is getting up there.
It's close for sure.
An hour and 8 minutes.
And we didn't
Wow.
even do any intro. We just kind of like jumped right in. But this is fun.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
enjoy the time. It's gone fast. I really appreciate the time to share with you guys.
Thank you, Joel.
So I guess
Great.
we're calling it here. Yeah, Joel, thank you so much. You're definitely someone that I'm very thankful for that is part of our gym. Not only have you helped us get it set up in terms of like just a physical space and like handyman type contribution, but just while you're there, being not only someone who's very fit and regularly beating me in workouts and helping keep us all humble, but also just someone who's positive and making everyone feel comfortable and welcome and just helping keep the culture the way we want it to be. And that culture is something that's positive, warm, and welcoming, helping like transform people's lives and really just giving them confidence to take on the physical challenges we provide at the gym, but also just all the other challenges that go on in life. So really thankful that you're with us at Deo and helping us establish the culture we want, and thankful that we had the time tonight to chat and get to know you a little better.
Well, it
Yep.
has certainly been enjoyable. Thank you for the all opportunities to continue to work out and to build that community that you all have desired to.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Logan, any closing comments before we close out here?
No, not really. We didn't touch on this, but I think you said a lot of it. But the reason why we chose you, Joel, just consistency, keeping such a positive vibe in the gym. I look whenever you and Lisa come in to the gym, even if I've had like a super rough day, that instantly becomes like my favorite class. So, and it's nothing that I'm doing. It's just you guys are coming in and just being ready for good conversation, good workout. And I feel like I always leave closing the gym energized and ready for the morning classes. So thanks for being who you are, and thanks for being a part of the gym, man. Appreciate you.
You guys have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. You too. Thank you
All
everyone
right,
for
man.
watching. Feel free to follow up on the Facebook group or on our YouTube channel. Have a good
Yep.
night.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys.